Hey fellas, it's Dino Boyo here, and we just received the first initial trailer for the forthcoming revival series of Walking with Dinosaurs, set to be released in May 2025 on BBC iPlayer. A joint production by the BBC and PBS, the new series offers a fresh reimagining of the original, with a new creative team at the helm, including acclaimed Dr. Foster actor Bertie Carvel taking over narration from Kenneth Branagh. However, similar to the original series, this reimagining aims to utilise cutting-edge science and state-of-the-art visual effects to tell captivating stories about these extinct creatures. But does this trailer live up to those expectations? Well, let's dig up and see what we can uncover. We are first introduced to a team of paleontologists working in what appears to be the Hell Creek Formation, excavating a newly discovered fossil. Since this scene is included in the trailer, it suggests that each episode may open with a group of paleontologists unearthing a fossil that represents the key dinosaur featured in that episode. This will probably act as a way to transition into the prehistoric world, with occasional returns to the present day to share new discoveries and insights about said key dinosaur. This idea makes even more sense when you consider that, as we heard last year, the new series is taking a lot more creative liberties with its design and storytelling compared to the original series. With that in mind, I wouldn't be too surprised if the reason the new series is called Walking with Dinosaurs is because it now focuses on the reconstructed stories paleontologists have pieced together from their discoveries, rather than following a film crew travelling back in time to watch the animals firsthand like the original series did. We are then taken through a series of different scenes showcasing the daily lives of various dinosaurs and pterosaurs across what is believed to be all 6 episodes. Thanks to some of the paleontologists who worked on the show, we may already have a good idea of which formations each episode will focus on, so for the rest of the video I'll group certain scenes together based on where I think they fit within each episode. Episode 1 seems to most likely take place in the Lautenschlager formation of late Jurassic Portugal, featuring a lone Lusso titan as the main focus. I really like the design of this Brachiosaurid. The pink and blue coloration is something I didn't expect to work as well as it does. What makes it even better is the apparent sexual dimorphism between the male and female Lusso titans, with the females displaying a more subdued brown and green palette. I also appreciate the inclusion of the speculated air sacs over the animal's bony crest. These structures have been hypothesized to act as a resonating chamber to amplified sound, so the idea that they might also assist in courtship seems quite plausible, even if the visual execution comes off across a little plasticky. According to an interview conducted alongside the trailer's release, the episode will follow this lone Lusso titan as it wanders the landscape in search of a mate, all while facing various life-threatening challenges. Based on the scenes shown in the trailer, it appears that the Lusso titan ultimately succeeds in its quest. As for the dangers it faces, specifics haven't been revealed yet. However, if I were to make an educated guess, I would say the 2 likely threats will be rival male Lusso titans competing for mating rights, and the megalosaurid Torvosaurus, which will almost certainly pose a deadly threat to our key dinosaur. Episode 2 is likely to focus on the Cheddar Hill Formation in early Cretaceous Utah, showcasing either Utahraptor or Gastonia as the main dinosaur. The Utahraptor design has undergone a substantial upgrade from its original depiction, now featuring a more muscular and robust build, inward-facing palms, and an intricate detailed texture. While I appreciate these enhancements, I do miss the iconic colour scheme from the original show. Nevertheless, the new coloration is quite striking, with the white stripes on its mouth being one of my favourite details, giving it a distinctive look. The Gastonia design featured in the trailer is also quite impressive, with earthy tones and stripe patterns that blend nicely with the forest environment. However, what caught my attention even more was the brief glimpse of 2 Gastonia engaging in a headbutting contest, demonstrating intraspecific competition. I appreciate this addition, as it adds an extra layer of realism on screen by showcasing the possible complex social behaviours of these animals. It's also exciting to see Utahraptor and Gastonia on screen together once again. Their last on-screen encounter was in Jurassic Fight Club over 17 years ago, and it seems this new confrontation will be just as intense, if not more so. The additional footage from this episode shows a forest fire occurring, most likely towards the end of the episode, with both dinosaurs desperately trying to escape the encroaching flames. Based on what we've seen, it seems Gastonia might be in greater danger, as it appears to struggle more with fleeing the fire, hinting that this may end tragically for it. Episode 3 appears to be set in the Chemchem group of late Cretaceous Morocco, with Spinosaurus taking centre stage as the episode's key dinosaur. In my view, this depiction already stands as one of the finest modern reconstructions of Spinosaurus, comparable to the ones featured in Prehistoric Kingdom and the upcoming Mesozoic life stories, Rivers of Giants. From its elongated narrow snout to its subtly arched tail and laterally compressed paddle-like tail, every aspect of this animal's anatomy reflects a commitment to the latest paleontological evidence. The coloration too reveals meticulous design choices. The deep greenish and brown hues, accented by subtle striping and orange undertones, particularly around the sail and facial areas, suggest that the artist took great care to ensure the Spinosaurus would blend naturally into its riverbank habitat, making the creature feel like a genuine part of its environment. A particularly commendable aspect of this portrayal is the behavioural nuance shown in the trailer. Several scenes feature an adult Spinosaurus tending to its young, guiding them through their watery habitat and watching over them as they sleep nestled beside it. This portrayal is especially commendable because it challenges traditional perceptions of dinosaur behaviour, much like what we've seen in shows such as Prehistoric Planet, by presenting one of the largest known predatory dinosaurs not as a mindless, bloodthirsty monster, but as a complex and potentially nurturing creature. The depiction of such a massive predator shown engaging in parental care challenges outdated notions of dinosaur behavior and reflects the growing emphasis on nuanced storytelling in paleo media. That said, this episode doesn't seem to shy away from action. The trailer features a dramatic sequence in which a Spinosaurus ambushes and captures an Onchopristis in the water, only to be confronted by what appears to be a second Spinosaurus, likely attempting to steal the catch. The trailer also teases the appearance of other dinosaurs that will likely appear in the episode, such as these unidentified sauropods, which are more than likely the Titanosaur Paralotitan, and two obscure theropods fighting over one of these sauropods, though my best bet is that they are most likely Carcharodontosaurus saharicus. Episode 4 and 5 both appear to be set in late Cretaceous Alberta, Canada, with the focus shifting to key dinosaurs from the Horseshoe Canyon Formation. In particular, Episode 4 appears to highlight Albertosaurus as its key dinosaur. While I personally feel that regions like Alberta and the Hell Creek Formation have been somewhat overexposed, particularly during the 2010s when numerous projects focused heavily on these areas, I am genuinely excited to see how this series handles Albertosaurus, a species that hasn't received much dedicated attention in recent years. Although there's little to critique regarding the animal's physical build being a largely accurate modern reconstruction, the design is still worthy of praise. Similar to Spinosaurus, there has been a deliberate effort to create a naturalistic and realistic colour scheme. The design features a muted palette of light brown or tan with dusty greyish undertones, making it well suited for blending into rocky or forested environments. However, this subdued coloration doesn't render the animal dull, rather it allows for subtle but meaningful variation. Notably, both sexes seem to display distinct facial coloration, with males displaying purple and females displaying blue. This distinction may serve as a courtship method for the animals in the episode, a detail that seems to be suggested in the trailer. The trailer also teases Albertosaurus hunting a diverse range of prey that will likely appear in the episode, including an Astarchid pterosaur, Edmontosaurus regalis, and an unidentified ceratopsian. The identity of this ceratopsian has already sparked speculation, with some suggesting it could either be Anchiceratops or Arenoceratops, based on the curvature of the horns and the fact that both species coexisted with Albertosaurus in the Horseshoe Canyon Formation. Speaking of ceratopsians, episode 5 will likely centre on Pachyrhinosaurus, as the trailer features several glimpses of a herd traversing prehistoric Alberta, presumably during a seasonal migration. Within the trailer, we get glimpses of these animals' behaviour, as we are shown some individuals engaging in behaviours suggestive of interspecific competition for mates. Okay, confession time. I have to admit, I'm a bit let down by the return of Pachyrhinosaurus, especially since this marked its fourth major appearance in a BBC dinosaur production over the past decade. Now, don't get me wrong, I genuinely appreciate that this unique ceratopsian continues to receive attention. It's one of the most distinctive members of its group and thrived in one of the harshest environments from the Mesozoic. What's not to love about that? However, with such a wide variety of Cretaceous ceratopsians to choose from, it feels like a missed opportunity to not focus on others like Styracosaurus or Styrtacosaurus, which remain underrepresented in major media. It almost seems as though the series is playing it a little too safe, favouring familiarity to appeal to a broader audience rather than embracing the spirit of discovery and diversity that defined the original series, which is fine. I just wish they had taken more risks when it came to their settings. That said, I still appreciate the design of this reconstruction. While it's not my favourite depiction of Pachyrhinosaurus, that honour still goes to Prehistoric Planet, this version still has its strengths. The muted colour scheme is perhaps more restrained, but the darker shading around the frill and along the sides of the body adds contrast and helps the animal to stand out visually. Episode 6 will most likely be set in the Hell Creek Formation of Lake Cretaceous, Montana, with Triceratops finally stepping into the spotlight as the key dinosaur instead of T-Rex. While the Hell Creek Formation has been extensively portrayed in paleo media, arguably to the point of overexposure, it's still refreshing to see Triceratops receive the attention it deserves. In the previous series, during the final episode Death of a Dynasty, Triceratops was regulated to a minor role, reduced to a carcass killed off screen by a Tyrannosaurus and used in a mating display, while the rest of the episode focused instead on the rare Rhetorosauros as the featured Ceratopsian. This is why Triceratops' new starring role in the upcoming series feels like a welcome and refreshing change, with it finally getting the spotlight in the series as a living, breathing animal rather than just a mere prop. The look of the Triceratops in this series looks really awesome, with its dark earthy brown body offering a striking contrast to the vibrant frill adorned with rich hues of orange, purples and browns. This effect is further heightened by the dark circular markings in the middle that create the illusion of large staring eyes, likely a nod to the Torosaurus design from the original series. Based on what we see from the trailer, it looks like we will be following a Triceratops through various stages of its life, from hatchling to adult, as it navigates a world filled with the diverse creatures of the Hell Creek ecosystem, such as other Triceratopses and a young Edmontosaurus nectans. We also see some of the threats the young Triceratops will be confronted with, as one moment in the trailer shows it being attacked by an unidentified as Darkid pterosaur, possibly Quetzalcoatlus or Inferno Dracon. However, not long after, what seems to be the same pterosaur is humorously ambushed by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. This very T-Rex seems to later reappear in a more dramatic context, seen battling what is presumably the same Triceratops now fully grown. Judging by the footage and what has been briefly said about this episode, this T-Rex appears to be a reoccurring presence in the Triceratops' life, perhaps serving as a kind of lifelong adversary or arch-rival to our Ceratopsian protagonist. While I'm thrilled that the series now showcases a more accurate T-Rex with its muscular heavy build and robust skull, a sharp contrast to the oddly underfed design of the original, I can't help but wish they had kept the original colour scheme. The striking black and orange combination was undeniably the most iconic feature of the T-Rex in the original show, and blending that with the more scientifically accurate build of this series would have been a real treat to see, even if it might not have been quite as realistic. That said, I'm still more than happy with what we got. So, what are my personal thoughts on the trailer overall? Personally, I really love it. It looks visually stunning and exciting, and it's clear a lot of effort has gone into bringing these prehistoric animals to life, to the point of rekindling that sense of awe I felt when I first watched the original series. That said, I can understand why some people might feel a little apprehensive after watching this. It doesn't quite capture the same beautifully eerie atmospheric tone that made the original series so distinctive. Instead, it seems to lean more into the epic, cinematic style we've seen in more recent documentaries, which for some might make it feel like it belongs under a different title altogether. Still, I'm genuinely excited, and I can't wait to see what the actual show is like when it finally comes out at the end of May. But what do you think of the trailer? Does it look promising, or do you feel more cautious about the direction it's taking? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss any of my future videos. Regardless, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another time. Goodbye.